How you doing, guys? It's your host Rob back once again, where I've got another interview coming up. This is a little bit more in my wheelhouse. It's music, it's DJs, presenters. I'll have DJ Semo here with me in Dubai. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, bro? Nice to meet you. Welcome to Dubai. How's it been treating you so far?
Good, man. It's different to what it was in my head, but not in a bad way, you know. So
it's your first time?
First time in Dubai.
First time in Dubai.
First time,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So
what was it in your head?
I don't know. A little bit more flashy, but that's because I'm not staying downtown. Yeah, so it's probably that's why. But the community is really good. There's a lot going on here. I know there's a lot of UK DJs who have come over here as well, including yourself as well. So, how long have you been here? To tell me a little bit about your journey, how you ended up here, because you're from Hackney.
I'm from I lived in Barking for a while, but I'm actually from West London.
Okay.
Like I lived in West London for the most time around my university, Brunel. Okay. But I've been here for 2 years and 3 months now, so not too long, but I've been here for a bit. I kind of know the lay of the land now, and I came here after, I don't know, like it's kind of like a point in my life where I felt like I was being pushed to come here. Okay. Loads of just events happened, and I found myself back and forth in Dubai through bookings, weddings, things like that. I'd never been to Dubai before 2023, ever. And I found myself here 5 times in the space of 6 months. Okay. So I got the opportunity to really like take it in. And then after the last time I visited, I'm on the plane back and I'm just like, I really love this place, you know, like I feel like I see the opportunity, I see there's an infrastructure, there's regular spend, there's opportunity, there's plenty of clubs. I didn't even realize they partied out here, you know, it's a Muslim country, somewhere in the middle of the desert. And I was just like, why not? Like, let me try. Like, I've got a great legacy from what I've done in the UK so far. Get one life, let me shoot a shot. It's either gonna go amazing or I'm just gonna get a flight back and continue what I was doing.
And I love that as well, because this is things like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but it's the idea of like, you know, you're not gonna die, you know? If it doesn't work, you just go back home. Yeah. Easy.
My friends that know me well know I've been a risk taker like my whole life. I mean, calculated risk taker, you know, I feel like anyone that has an appetite for business or, you know, just an ambitious person, you're never going to know unless you try certain things or unless you launch that podcast or unless you know, whatever, start that business. And I've always been the one that's like, I actually don't care if it fails. I will fail forward. And if it's for me, it won't pass me. So that was my move to Dubai. I just wanted to give it a shot and see how it goes.
So comparing it to sort of the UK, I mean, we're both from the UK. It's a different space. Especially, I think there's the argument now in general that the club scene is kind of dying a little bit over there, at least as well. Have you experienced that, or have you started to see that more, especially being out here, realizing what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so these are the mechanics behind the decision making. So at the time, you're talking about post-pandemic, we went through a few phases, rule of 6, you know, couldn't stand up, couldn't dance, limited capacities in venues closing down all over. We had the biggest chain of nightclubs in the UK closed down. It's a Deltic company. They were bought by a Scandinavian company, turned into more commercial clubs, weren't working with promoters. And for me, that was massive because my events company, Ice Cream Parties, basically ran off the foundation of those venues. We had large format arena experiences indoors at these venues. So when we lost those venues, it was either we compromise the experience and run much smaller parties, or we hope that we can expand and start working with larger format venues, but they would have to tailor and be accessible to our crowd. So I was actually one of the first people to approach venues like Box Park, for example. Before Box Park was doing raves like parties, I went in there early and I had conversations with, you know, the people at B, and I said, I've done this, I've done that, Megan Thee Stallion, I've done, you know, YG, Tory Lanez, Pop Smoke, I've done all these amazing artists, let me bring this experience to Wembley. And long story short, they said no.
Oh, okay.
They just said no, flat out said it's not for us. And I felt a bit deflated, I'll be honest. Like at the time, there wasn't parties at these places. So I had that vision from early and I saw that you could do these amazing things for our community. Now, they've got parties every other week, you know, they've got a Recess, a DLT, they've got, you know, all these, I mean, Jamaican Independence Day parties, amazing events. And I felt like if this was the climate when I was coming out of the pandemic, for me, I'd probably still be in the UK. But it developed too slowly for me. The mindset and the shift and everything kind of developed a bit too slowly for me. So I was just like, look, I'm gonna take my talents and my my skills to a place where I feel like I can expand and grow. And at the time, Dubai, there was nowhere that I could see that had more opportunity. So after visiting here quite a few times, I had a very bubbly nightlife scene, very bubbly brunch scene, everything. Like you could literally, there's a club every night. And as I'm sure you've been here for the last, how many, like you've been here for about a week now?
Yeah, almost a week.
Almost a week. There's something to do every single day. So if you can tap into communities and into different pockets of Dubai, you can work every single day. In the UK, we really plan our money. We plan for paydays, we plan for bank holidays. If you're a promoter, you're fighting for pockets of people's attention and people's spend. So 2 things were happening in the UK. Cosy Lives, everyone talks about Cosy Lives. The price of living has gone up. The experience had gone down, as in like the value for your money, let's call it, as in the nightclub experiences had all gone down. And at the same time, it was still really difficult to get venues. It was, unless you're paying an arm and a leg, you're doing dry hires or hiring warehouses or whatever, which come with additional expenses, additional headaches. It wasn't easy to get a nightclub. Like, it wasn't easy to get a good nightclub. So yeah, I thought, let me come over here. I'm going to apply myself and see where it takes me. And yeah, it's been.
And how do you get to the kind of? Excuse me. I know you was getting booked over here a lot, so people knew about you over here. How do you build out your network over here? So if I'm a DJ, for example, and I'm a presenter by nature, if I'm coming over here and I want to build my network of people, where do I go? Who do I speak to?
I think it's the same with any kind of business, I guess. You have to find the value. It's always a value exchange. Like if I'm coming over to anyone's business, if I said I wanted to, I don't know, help you build your podcast for a percentage in the podcast, so you'd say, what are you bringing to the table? I came here super humble. I literally came and I was ready to start from scratch. Like, as in, like, not erase my history, but remove the ego, remove any kind of privilege that came along with my, my long CV of experience, and just say, look, what can I bring? I already know DJing is, the foundation. Like, I have grown everything from being a great DJ, and I'm very grateful for those talents. And I can produce those talents anywhere I can go in the world, which is great. But coming to a place where you have saturated community of DJs, there's so many DJs out here, everyone's looking for work, everyone's hungry, everyone's humble, everyone's social, everyone's outside. What's going to make me different? I kind of charm my way in the door with some of the biggest venues out here, some of the biggest events. And once I got in the door, I just did my thing. And I think the more I've grown as a DJ, the more I've grown confident in my capabilities, in my talents. Maybe not as much, I don't know, at the beginning of my career. I thought I was a good DJ. But it was a microcosm, isn't it? It was like my immediate community of DJs. I was just like, yeah, but outside of this community, there's probably hundreds of amazing DJs, like I'm probably nothing. And then I started getting booked around Europe. I started getting booked around the country. I started hearing other DJs play. And I grew more confident because I felt comfortable in how I perform. So, and I feel like the same thing happened in Dubai. As I started to get more sets, I grew more confident in how I perform. And I felt like there was a space for me and how I play in this community. And I guess that's just it. That's just believing in your source, as I call it. That's what I tell the youngers. Like, you got to believe in your source,
And so with the music genres, we're seeing so much like Amapiano now. Like, it's like my background is mostly UK music and stuff, but the Amapiano scene out here is crazy. Even I was at the Retimo event the other day, and it was just crazy. The energy, like I've never experienced it. And so when do you think that point of that genre of music started to really creep into the scene? I
think it's been here for a while, but I think it exploded last year. And for me, I didn't know it was this big out here. I knew of certain brands that were doing their thing, and I was excited at the opportunity to play for some of these brands. And honestly, I still don't really have any bookings with these brands. The biggest, I think, carriers of the Amapiano culture out here, it's a very kind of like, I would say like a closed network. It's a very gate-kept network. They don't really book that many DJs outside of their immediate community. which is beautiful in itself, because you know they really want to just kind of celebrate South African, Zimbabwean, any culture that kind of represents that kind of style of music within their, you know, nuclear circle, which is cool. But for someone like me, who's coming over as an expat, is Sudanese by birth, and wants to leave their impact and express their music love, it was almost like it could have gone any way for me. Because when I first came out, I was getting booked at clubs that were playing open format, mainly UK music, dancehall, you know, little Afrobeats was the least played style. You know, we was playing hip hop, trap, all this, you know, like everything. And I was worried. I was going to get pocketed as, you know, just like that style of music. The clubs that embraced me at first, that's what they wanted me to play, which was cool. I've always loved Afrobeats. I've always loved Amapiano. Amapiano, I've been a fan of. I actually refused to play it for 2 years.
Why?
I didn't want to jump on a bandwagon. So when Amapiano started to explode, my best friend Junior, he's from Zimbabwe, he was like, yeah, bro, this is like one of the sounds from the South. Like, this is what we've been rocking with. And it goes back, you know, like there's certain, he started sending me playlists, you know, artists, DJs, and I would just zone out, you know, on my journeys, my travels around London. And I started attending events just to attend, just to fall in love with the music even more. And mixing Amapiano is an art. It's just like you come across a garage DJ, there's a difference between an EZ and just a random garage DJ, sure. You know. I wanted to fall in love with it and immerse it and absorb it. And then by the time I got to a point where I was like, the music was within me kind of thing, sounds weird, but I could play the shit out of piano. I don't know if I could swear on the podcast, but yeah. I could really play piano, and then I got my opportunity to play in front of the audience out here that loves that style of music. Yeah. And it was for a big international event called Obie's House. Obie's House is a Nigerian party that they stream on YouTube. Okay. Played it twice. The first time I played it, they actually forgot to record it, so it never saw the light of day. But the crowd heard me, and they were like, yo, Semo can play. When it comes to piano, when it comes to Afrobeat, Semo can play. And then the rest is up to God. Like, the way that it kind of married is that the Amapiano parties, the underground ones, like the one you came to last week, the majority of the community there is actually Sudanese. Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, I saw, yeah. Obviously, I've never been in these rooms, so they've booked me. Yeah. I fly my flag on the back of my laptop. So they booked me. I've turned up to the first Friday night. Back then it was at a club called V, Sheikh Zayed Road at the Comrade. It's going for a refurb now, which is why it's moved. But I walked into this club and I was just like, what is going on in here? 700 people just going mental over Amapiano and Afrobeats. And I was like, I'm about to have a ball. And played my heart out. A couple people saw the flag on the laptop, and just created a massive following within that scene. And I think that has influenced my career massively out here, because I just kept getting booking after booking after booking for piano. So I would say now it's probably 90% of my bookings. Amapiano. And
comparing that to something like the UK music scene, you're familiar with it. I know also you were Most Acts DJ for a while. And how it's exploding there. We spoke a little bit about some other artists, some other DJs who have gone to different countries and successful there. Do you think there's a demand for UK music and the UK music scene here now in Dubai?
Yes and no. There is, because there are some expats that live here that love that. Like, for example, we had Asko come out here last month, and he's considered, you know, cream of the crop when it comes to UK rap right now. He's doing this thing. And I think that community, that nuclear community of UK rap lovers will go. If you get the superstars, you know, a Dave or you know, a DBE, people from all over the world will come and see them. But someone like Asko is a good example, because he's not known globally. Like, he's not like D-Block Europe, you know.
They're just
gone.
They're
Dave gone, Stormzy
gone.
Asko still has that magic of like, if you know, you know, you know, and that's a good way to test the measure of how powerful the sound is. And he had some really great shows. He threw some private shows as well. He was here for, I think, a couple of days, like, doing his thing. And that was a good measure to show that there is an appetite. However, I feel like the music has slowed down. And the production of superstars out the UK has slowed down. So people will hear it and be like, yo, that's crazy, like that's cold, like who is that? But they're not booking these artists out here as much.
No.
We will see the same artists over and over again.
Who are the most common artists you see here?
Probably Clavish. Clavish comes out a lot. We've had Heady One was here doing a show recently. That was dope. We had NSG have come out a few times. We even had Gigs. Gigs came out. But again, it comes down to which club and who's the promoter and whatever, you know, like it really depends out here. Because if you don't have the right promoter or you don't have the right club, the club could be bit like Ram. I've been in these venues where it's absolutely jam-packed. Nobody knows a single song. They have no idea what's going on. They're just there because they're there.
Yeah, do you think it's mostly expat for that kind of music, or is it like...
that will pay and buy tables and like actually come and support the artists? Absolutely. But most of these clubs on, you know, they're midweek. So how are you supposed to actually expect people to come out when they're here working? People are here. A lot of the expats here are either, you know, teaching or, you know, working in corporate jobs. So if they're working and the club is going up on a Tuesday, it's going to be tourists that are going to be there, or local table promoters. So I don't think the UK community gets the chance to really embrace UK music out here as much. It would be nice if there was more, but is there an appetite for it? I don't know.
So what could UK artists do to put themselves in this space to be able to pull people in? So
friend of mine out here, everyone knows him, Bouncer. He's been doing great work online, and he's been talking about it for the longest. You know, the gatekeeping of the UK music community in the UK has really slowed down the music, and that's because a lot of artists have had this idea. It's almost been like a paradigm in our community that the only way to blow up is if you get your video on GRM Daily, you get your 1 million views, and you're gone. No one's really been investing in themselves. So there's people that are complacent or are not really pushing their career as hard as they could be, not making the music that they need to be making because they're expecting it to just come served on a plate. It's not going to happen like that. It starts at home. If you're not doing what you're doing in the communities that are supposed to be pushing you, the global community is not going to take you in. And I just feel like it's just slowed down massively. You know, I came up in a era of, we were producing literally like superstar UK artists almost, if not weekly, monthly. There was a new artist every month, you know, from everyone. Even at the time when Afro Swing, I think we called it, was blowing up. You know, the obvious ones like Afro B, NSG, Mostak was kind of in there, but also mainly UK rap, but he was delving into these beats which were not really heard of. You know, he was doing remixes and samples with Ill Blue of commercial beats. So he created his own massive following. It's like gangster rap, but commercial gangster rap. Then you had Stormzy came in, kind of transitioned from grime into rap, and it was like there's a journey, there's a story. Who's telling that story right now? Like who's doing it? Central C. Every time I have this conversation, everyone just lands back at Central C. Podcast I just did with Afro B landed back at Central C. The only people painting a story right now are the superstars. There's no one new really coming into the game that is doing that, and I think that's a shame.
Well, they probably love him over here as well, Central C. I think Central C's got obviously worldwide.
Central C does mega clubs out here. You know, like he does it if he wants to. That's where he's at. If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to do it. Like he's gone. Central C has done it perfectly. Him and his management team have done it absolutely perfectly.
Well, we speak about teams actually in regards to sort of, you know, management, structure, PR people, whoever. Do you think this is where a lot of the artists are lacking in regards to their direction?
No, because if you want it, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you just remove distractions, go to the mountains, as Stormzy would say. Go to the mountains, work on your craft, produce something that is undeniable. Who's gonna stop you? I think, again, like I said, a lot of people are just, I don't want to say lazy, but will find the obstacles. They're looking for the reasons why they're not succeeding rather than the reasons how to succeed. And I think sometimes that's circumstantial. It could be your environment. It could be, you know, whatever's going on in your life at the time. It might just be distractions. It might just be your circumstance. You can't blame everyone for the fact that they're not producing, but your time may not be now. You might just need to keep working. And one principle in life that I love to just practice is consistency. And if you're consistent, it will happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week. But if you stop putting out songs, it happened, didn't it? We went through like maybe, how long has it been since Afro Swing was really on top? It's probably been about a good 4 to 5 years now. Yeah. 5 years. People just stopped producing. They just stopped. The output just stopped. And there's many theories behind it. There's many stories behind it. A lot of people said some of these artists were going through some real like stuff. And then when the pandemic came and everyone just had to sit indoors, they had nowhere to turn. They just had to go through their motions.
That's when the millionaires were made in 2020.
Yeah.
When the pandemic was happening. I mean, we know people who have blown up on TikTok during the pandemic, millions and millions of followers, people becoming literally millionaires and stuff from that. So it's about, I think the problem I found with artists, they struggle to adapt to changes.
Yeah.
And this is so, or they just don't want to put in a certain aspect of their career. So obviously they want to make music, they want to be in the studio, production, engineer, that's all cool. Yeah. But then what about labels, what about PR, what about social media, what about all these other components that gets people in front of you? So like I spoke to you earlier, I'm doing a panel about this to discuss every aspect of it, from a label's point of view to management point of view to campaign and social media strategy. All this is stuff that people don't really consider. And I get it, creatives usually are a little bit more focused on the craft, like you said, but you can't neglect these other things, because I've seen a lot of artists over the years. I think one of the biggest difference is that talent is only a small part. It sounds a little bit, but talent is a small part.
There's a lot of components. In this world of TikTok, is that the truth though?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think, I mean, if you think of the biggest people on TikTok at the moment in regards to whether that's influencers, creators or artists, can you honestly say they're like talent and that's what's pushed them through? Probably not. There's lots of different components, not to say that, but I'm saying that it doesn't matter, because hard work beats talent, right? Strategy beats talent. Connections beat talent, all these external things which you can work on, because talent really, if you could argue, is God-given. Whereas opposed to attitude, work ethic, those can be built and developed. And once those are built and developed, I've seen people who are, artist A, artist B. Artist A, super talented, knows he's talented, confident. Artist B, not as talented but super hard working. Who goes further? It's even Wiley said that about Ice Kid and Chip. Chip wanted it more, even though Ice Kid was more talented.
Yeah. Ice Kid was cold.
So that's West London, man. West London.
He was cold.
And that's why.
I think, I don't know, it's a weird crossroad. It's where opportunity meets talent. So you're right in the sense of there's more ingredients required. I hear it, I get it. But like you said, Chip just went for it. He just went for it, and that opportunity for him took him to the States, then brought him back, and then ultimately, I know Chip, like he is such a nice, humble guy, and he's in control. Whatever he wants to do, he'll do it. And the reason why the industry and even the people there, and the DJs, everyone will always respect Chip, is because he doesn't compromise his craft. He will always put out 10/10 work, and we appreciate it. There's guys like DWE. I don't think DWE's ever been signed to like some international massive major label. He's always probably been signed and distributed, but he's always stayed true to his sound and his craft, and he's a legend, So it just depends what you want. As an artist or as a DJ, for example, firstly, always go where you're celebrated. If there's, I don't know, say, let's look at LMA, for example. LMA superstar had to go to America to really be appreciated, Even when we were younger, we've seen the likes of, oh gosh, what was her name? She had that song with Kanye West.
Estelle.
I was going to say Adele. That was on the tip of my tongue. I knew it wasn't Adele. Estelle went to the States, same thing. And I think she's doing publishing now. She's writing. And you go where you're celebrated. You go where there's opportunity. Lancey Foe, huge in the States. Like he's doing his thing. He's shooting a video the other day. These are people that may not have got where they are now if they didn't remove themselves from the environment that they're in. I believe that for myself. That's why I'm currently sitting in the desert, and it's working for me. And I think a lot of people just, like I said, will sit in their environment expecting that label to reach out, that artist manager should reach out.
I agree.
And where the just general, I don't know, I guess like strain of living in the UK has gone up, artists feeling it too, labels feeling, everyone's feeling it. So now you're in it's a bit of a harder situation to even be discovered.
It's funny, you mentioned LMA, and I don't know if you're familiar with Flow Music.
Yep.
And they're one of the ones who have done well here, one of the very few girl groups who have done well in the UK, and then have gone to America and done well in America as well. So I really understand what you mean about finding where you're celebrated, because I've spoke to R&B artists before, and if you think about US R&B, it's crazy. You know, you've got Summer Walker, you've got the big stars like Usher, etc. So, but when I'm speaking to R&B artists, sometimes they said they're having label meetings and they're like, we don't care about R&B in the UK, so to speak. You know what I mean? So
it's just tiny island. Think about it. UK is a very small island. The population is tiny compared to these other places. You know, like, I mean, to I guess take a slight U-turn. Even industries like teaching. Like I've met teachers out here, and we've compared lifestyle, UK and America. Some of these teachers, their basic salary in the US, basic foundational salary, starts at like 40, 50K for a teacher. For a teacher in the UK could never.
No.
Unless, even if you're working in the private sector, could never. It's the same as why a lot of teachers come out here to Dubai, because they get paid, you know, crazy money for it. And then there's allowances, housing, etc. The UK can only do so much, although we are, I don't know, arguably one of the hot spots for talent. You know, like not only DJs, music, like we have created how many genres of music, then redefine them again. But it's a tiny little island. There's just not that much money in there. So when you're talking about producing consistent superstars, it's going to be difficult because they have a finite amount of money in which they can use to do that. Unless you get labels that literally create, I don't know, a superstar like J Hus, for example, that creates an entire ecosystem, an entire management system for additional artists to come through, like Black Butter, for example. But can't really speak on it, but I haven't seen another superstar come out of Black Butter in that same genre, in that same field.
Is Young T and Bugsy under them?
I'm not sure, but again, I would like Young T and Bugsy are my boys. I love their music. Would I consider them a superstar? This is just me being fully honest. Wouldn't say they're superstars. Superstars are Skepta, you know, J Hus is a superstar.
I mean, Skepta is a fantastic example because he's someone who, so many different genres, DJ as well, went to America, was here, like he's done almost 20 years of work to get where he is now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm a big fan. Like, I've always been a big fan of Skepta. My childhood was literally, I've played in events where he's performing. He actually celebrated his birthday at one of my events where we booked him in Uxbridge. Shout out to MC Kai who helped us hook that up. And this was before the Skepta we have today. And one thing I do like about Skepta, and this is something I've been inspired by, is how to keep an open mind but stay yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, this is the same Skepta that turned up to the Mobile Awards in the Sports Direct trackie, but now he's doing Vogue. You know, some people might consider that, okay, like he's pivoted so much and he's selling out and he's becoming someone that he's not. Whereas I just think that he's taking inspiration from his environment, from his current situation in life, from his success, and he's repurposing it and showing people what you can do, what you can become, how you can style on them in your own way. And I love it. I'm not going to lie.
Do you think Stormzy's doing the same?
I think Stormzy is a bit more of a recluse. Like, I think he likes his space and his mind space. And as much as remember, Stormzy joined Instagram late. Like, it was a whole thing. You know, when we watched Stormzy join Instagram, it was a very wholesome moment because he's even just posting like, guys, this is a dump. I'm doing my first dump, like posting his first series of pictures. This is the guy that when he does a birthday party, he'll hire Thorpe Park and invite all of his brethren. He's on a different frequency, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, he's still a superstar, but he just feels like he's down to earth. Like, you go to the right party in the UK, you bump into Stormzy. You know, he's still like one of the people there. And I'm not saying that Skepta isn't, but it's a different feeling of superstar, if that makes sense.
Did you see his statement on his Instagram?
I didn't know. What did he say?
So he.
Remember, I've been off Instagram for about
Well, it was
a
like
month
maybe
and a
a few
half.
days ago. So
Yeah.
So he done the promoted McDonald's meal and
Yes.
all that, and he spoke about
He
that.
had a lot
and
of
he
backlash.
Yeah. So he spoke about that, but to be honest, a lot of people are saying that he didn't address it. He kind of made excuses about it.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's one of these things of, you mentioned about obviously being yourself, being authentic, and everything else, and it's just like, where's the line between being yourself and not pandering, but being aware of your own audience, but then not also limiting your opportunities with other companies or businesses. You know?
It's difficult because ultimately we're talking about money. Let's be real. We're talking about corporate money. Is there a price on your principles? Is the question that the people are really asking. Someone like Stormzy, who's going to be rich for the rest of his life if he manages his money correctly. Did he need to do that campaign? Probably not. Did it leave a bad taste amongst the community? Because the UK is one of the most woke communities in the world. You know, we talk on everything. Probably did leave a bad taste in their mouth. And the reason is evident. You know, there's evidence behind it. Am I anyone to talk on how another man makes his bag? Absolutely not. However, the question that I usually ask people, and I like to relate it into my world, is if Donald Trump to be fair, Donald Trump's having a great year. He's having a great presidency. Yeah. I'm not really involved in this Venezuela thing, but he's trying to bring peace to the world, and I rate it. But what I used to say to people is, if Donald Trump made the wickedest trap song tomorrow, bad, like undeniable, like you hear it and you just start bopping your head, as a DJ, would I play it? And some DJs I've had this conversation with have said, bro, music is music. I'll play it.
That leads, I suppose, onto the whole R. Kelly.
They still play R. Kelly. These same DJs I'm talking to, they still play R. Kelly. They still play, you know, I mean, MJ's not been cancelled yet, but, you know, they'll play these artists. Like, they'll play Diddy. These guys would be Harlem shaking in the club.
It looks bad for Diddy, man. It does look bad. Music is music, but yeah.
It looks terrible. I mean, music is music, but at the same time, for me, knowing that these artists are getting paid every time I press play. Yeah. Like, I can't play R. Kelly. I can't. I don't play R. Kelly.
Do you play Diddy?
Don't even listen to them anymore.
Do you play Diddy?
Don't even play Diddy. Pause. The only time I might play Diddy is if he's in the credits of a song I don't know. I think I played a Drake song the other day, and they were like, oh, you know, R. Kelly was a writer. I think it was TSB off of one of his more recent albums. And I was like, bro, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. So to bring it back to the conversation, I think it comes down to how principled you are as an individual. If you're a principled individual and you know what you stand for, no amount of money can make you do something. Like, anyone can say, like, oh, bro, if I gave you $1 million, would you slap your mother? Why would I do that? Money can't buy me. And I think why people are disappointed is they felt like in that situation, in that corporate situation, money brought him above the principles of the situation. And that is why people are disappointed. Yeah.
Let's bring it a little bit more chilled now. So how's dating in Dubai? How's that?
Gosh.
What's it like out there? What's it like out here? So I'd say, you know.
People say dating in Dubai is tragic. Yeah. I say people because obviously I'm very social. I'm in a big community. I've got a lot of friends who are expats, especially moved out here, and everything down to dating apps. It's the wild, wild west, and that's because you don't move to Dubai without like an ulterior motive. Everybody comes here with the ambition and the lust for success rather than the lust for love, and generally, a lot of people that do move out here, then they might not be here for a long time. Some people are here for the long time, for a long-term investment, but a lot of people just want to come, maybe, just spend some time away from home and then eventually go back. And that limits your opportunity to find your person. But, love finds you in the weirdest places. Like, I think I'm quite fortunate in love. I've been in love a few times. I've had some great relationships. I've had an 8.5-year relationship. Nice. And then that ended maybe a year before I came to Dubai. And I'm currently in a relationship 2 years now.
I thought you were thinking about who you were in a relationship with when you're like, I'm in a relationship with...
No. I've been in a relationship for about 2 years now.
Nice.
And
how is that? Because you're, like you said, you're quite a social person, DJs, DJs and personal trainers have got a rep already.
I keep my private life very private.
Yeah.
I keep it very off the gram, off everything. And that is more me learning from my previous situations, you know. Like my previous relationship was everywhere, all over the ground. People were like, you guys should launch a YouTube, whatever. I think we shared a bit too much. We didn't do all that, but we shared a bit too much, and we were very charismatic, and people will fall in love with love because there's a lot of people out there looking for it, right? They want to see
couple goals and
all that kind of stuff. And I learned early from who was it? Was it Terrell and Nikita? I don't know if you remember them. Influenced a couple in the UK, and then they had a massive blow up. Yeah. And it was just like, that's just too much, man. Yeah. Like at the end of that relationship that I was in, the 8.5 year one, I was going through it anyway. You know, I was going through heartbreak and disappointment and just the reality of my situation. It's almost like a grieving process. You're losing not just the individual, but the extended family and the experiences, the things that you've been doing together. And then I had to face all of these followers and all these people asking me, whatever. Oh, I've seen your girl here, or haven't seen you guys together for a while. It haunts you. It's like a shadow.
Bit invasive as well, you know.
Whereas, for example, if like now it didn't work out, obviously every time you put yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable emotionally, there is a chance it might not work out. But in this situation, if it didn't work out, it'll be a minimal exposure. Like I'm not gonna be in the limelight. People asking me personal questions that they have no business asking me, you know. So for me, I've managed it differently. I think I was quite fortunate to find someone pretty quickly. Like I think I wasn't even in Dubai for like a month before I met this person, and we didn't date immediately. I was still going through my, figuring out Dubai phase. I wasn't sure if I was even going to be in Dubai after 6 months. I literally packed a suitcase and came. Like I had nothing sorted when I got here. But yeah, like it's been a steady journey, steady progress. It's again different for everyone. I've seen couples break up in Dubai, and then if you don't have a support system, and that's a lot of people do struggle because you come out here and you don't have genuine friends for a while. It's just like going uni. When you go to uni, you're a first year. Yeah, that's my neighbor, that's my housemate, that's
just people,
but they're people. You don't know me, I don't know you. Like you don't know my struggles, you don't know my insecurities, my personal pet peeves, whatever. It takes about 2 years to really build connections. And I feel like now I've got some great connections in Dubai, but it took some time. So people that have gone through it or have had people do them dirty, or the people that are quick to fall in love, you might date a girl immediately, oh yeah, but why you do my husband, whatever. You'll struggle like in this Dubai because it can be heartless.
What's the key to finding genuine people in Dubai?
Be yourself. You will attract what you put out. If you're out here just trying to grab money, you're going to meet money grabbers. And they will come to a point where you hit a low, because life is ups and downs, isn't it? When you hit your lows, you're going to feel super lonely because you haven't invested in people. You've just invested in opportunity. If you invest in people, it's just like being at home. You're going to have your support network. You're going to have your people there to hold you up, and you'll get through it. Human shit. But if you're just going to be out here as an opportunist, because there is a lot of opportunity out here, but if you're just out here as an opportunist, the second opportunity dries up, it's a very lonely road. It's going to be a lonely, lonely road. So invest in your community, invest in them. So a lot of people now doing things like run clubs and paddle clubs, and because you're in a space of like-minded people, There's not, this might sound controversial because I make money from the clubs, but you're going to find nothing in the clubs. No. You can have a great time. You ain't going to find your best friends in the clubs.
I've definitely seen a lot more, especially back home and here. Yeah. Fitness is massive here.
Crazy.
The run club, a friend of mine goes to them all the time. He's like, it's like a bit of a dating thing now. Like
I've heard.
And this is where I get it, because already you're going with a common goal of like fitness and looking after yourself, etc. So, as men, we're attracted to obviously like not fitness chicks, but women who look after themselves. So that's a really good plus. So I understand it. It's obviously I can see the appeal. Yeah. I'm trying to tell my mates.
You know what? People that come here, I'll be real, it's probably the most attractive community of people, and I've been to a lot of places. that I've ever seen in my life. That was the first thing I noticed when I landed. I went to, the beach clubs. I was like, wow, everyone's good looking. What's going on? I could never fall off here. Like, I got to make sure that I'm sharp. And in these run clubs, if you are trying to attract, what you put out, perfect place to go. And generally, people that go gym is a big part of my life. Like, I do gym 7 days a week, almost twice a day. Like, between cardio and lifting, twice a day, 7 days a week. It is a key ingredient if you want to be mentally focused and if you want to be successful.
I found I'm a big believer in health and fitness in the gym as well. In fact, when I lived in Malta, that's kind of how I met people. I just went to the gym, because that's it's easier to find common ground with someone you've got something big in common with.
Some great conversations in the gym as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Some great conversations.
I think it's definitely something, I'm a big believer in health and fitness in general, and I think it's especially, I think, coming from the UK, I think people are now taking it more seriously, and I think worldwide there's generally a better attitude to fitness.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some people who still, destroy their bodies and however way that is. But it's positive. Overall.
I think everything in balance, have a good time, be social, you can have a little drink, whatever tickles your fancy. There's no judgment. It's just find the balance. There's not saying you have to live this on monk level discipline where you can't enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself, eat that burger, but just be accountable, and ultimately when you come back to it, set your goals and measure what you're doing and manage it, and then that's it.
What's some of the biggest lessons you've learned from 2025?
2025 lessons. I think 2025 for me was kind of like my caterpillar year. It was like I was going through a metamorphosis. I was changing. I was becoming the person that I need to be. And I wouldn't say it's a lesson, but it was more like a reassuring, grounding realization to just keep going. Doesn't always have to be figured out. Just keep going. Honestly, every self-help book you could ever read, the genuine bottom line is just keep going. Don't overcommit. Don't overstimulate yourself. Don't pick too many focuses. I read this great book last year called The One Thing. I read a lot. I love reading. And it's such a simple message, but it's just like as you read it, they give you all these different case studies of hyper successful companies, and ultimately comes down to trim the fat, focus, lock in on one thing, and the power of the universe will reward you.
It's funny actually, because when you said that, it kind of clicked in my mind. That's what my dad says all the time. He goes, "Don't worry, these things happen. You just got to keep going." That's all he ever says to me. Don't worry. He's never phased by a lot. He's quite chilled. So,
have you read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon?
I haven't. I know it's quite a famous book.
Rich Man was quite a small book, but it's about this. The Babylonian kingdom was the richest empire for undisturbed for hundreds of years before. This is before Jesus, a long time ago. And they had these key 5 principles. And one of those key principles was keep going. Believe in yourself, keep going. Do not give up, do not stray, stay focused, and you will bear the fruits of your labor. 2025 showed me that. I work, I lock in, work harder, lock in, work harder, lock in. Take a break, because you've got to take a break.
Yeah, don't want to burn out.
I now insistively take holidays. I used to never holiday.
Where do you go on holiday now? Because you've been kind of around the world. You're already in the kind of the sun.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Where do you like to go?
Now, I went Bali, for example, in July last year. Absolutely loved it. Bali is just one of those places where if you're looking to disconnect, if you need some wholesome, even just some fresh air in your nose, the food, what? Listen, Bali was just one of those really wholesome trips I needed to take. And that's what I look for when I holiday. I have 2 types of holidays. Okay. I've got work holidays and I've got holidays. Holiday, I'm switching off. Don't call me, don't phone me, don't message me. I am a ghost to the world. I'm probably in a treehouse somewhere, making music or just chilling, taking pictures, sipping a mimosa. That is holiday.
Sounds good.
Work holiday is I'm going to a region where I know if I ever DJ'd here, it's over. So Dubai might have been considered work holidays because I was booked out here, but I extended my trips booked some extra hotels, you know, got to see the land and go to other events, whatever. So like work holidays in the pipeline, I need to go South Africa, of course. You know, I've got people already talking to me, trying to get me to go South Africa. I've got promoters in Nigeria shouting me. Uganda's heavy on my list right now. They've got a big culture out there. I want to go to the States, even though Trump's making it hard. I definitely want to go to the States.
Where would you go in the States? What state?
LA's popping. Like LA's got this summertime culture, which is quite similar to the UK.
Okay.
Day parties are just crazy in LA, so I definitely want to check out LA. New York, same vibes. Miami, but I feel like
Miami, man.
I feel like I get lost in Miami, man. But yeah, other than that, I want to see the world. You know, we get this one life. You don't know when it's going to be over. So I want to see the world. I want to go Philippines. I want to go Tanzania. Let me go check out China. My brother just went to see the Great Wall of China last month. He said it was amazing, like crazy. I've never been to Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico's sick.
You know, I want to go to the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. You know, so many beautiful places that we can go and see.
I mean, you've been around the world and you're going to continue to travel.
Yeah.
What are the kind of lessons you pick up whilst you travel and go into different places?
Just be kind to people. Everywhere I've gone, I've been really blessed to meet amazing promoters. The promoters that I genuinely DJ for are quite, like, we reflect very similar energy. I've never been booked by a promoter and just thought, oh, it's a horrible person. I never want to work here again. They've always been kind. They've gone over and above to make sure that I'm comfortable. And we've maintained friendships. I go back and play for them all the time. But yeah, just kindness. Kindness is just the key. Just be a kind person, maintain certain boundaries, especially professional boundaries. But I've just never had to put them in place because wherever I get booked abroad, they just treat me like a king. I love it. So, you know, there are certain festivals I've played where I've had to like put in a little boundary and be like, okay, well, this is what we were promised, for example. But generally, I don't know, it's just a blessing. Like, I guess I'm at a stage in my career where everything's just a blessing. Like, I look back at what I've done and I look at what I'm doing and I'm just like, wow, like.
What does your team look like? Is it just you? You have a
It's
team
mainly
of people
me.
or?
I have different teams, but they're very small. I have 4 or 5 different teams based around different projects, but I don't keep a team of more than 3 people. Generally because too many chefs spoil the broth. And in this age of you can get services online, I would rather employ someone that I don't know, that I don't have to really, not even that I'm sharp with them, but if I say I want it this way, they will do it this way. It's no if, buts, or maybes. You're not my brethren. You're going to do it exactly how I want it. And that's something that has served me well in terms of building businesses, because I can compromise, but every time I do, it doesn't go well.
Part of yourself, yeah.
It's not even really, I don't, if I've been in a project, like I walked out of a project recently, right? This project was paying me like nearly $1,000 a week. And honestly, I could have stayed in the project if I was willing to bend my boundaries. And I had already bent them so much. I had already got to a point where I was just like, I don't understand this project. I don't understand the direction, the value, the goal. We're losing sight of the goal. And if I give myself more to the project, I will start to lose myself more. And it got to a point where the money wasn't worth the piece, if that makes sense.
What's a boundary breaking situation for you, or example?
As in like when I'm working with other people?
Yeah.
Just not doing what you say you're going to do, you know? Like finding reliable people is actually...
Yeah, it's hard work.
Listen, I've worked with CEOs. Like I built a... before I came to Dubai, I worked with a company that owned, I think about 70% of the venues in Shoreditch. They owned a massive part of the venues in Shoreditch, right? And they had taken the pandemic as an opportunity to expand and buy failing venues. So they bought venues from London all the way up to Manchester. So I got invited in to speak to them after hosting an event with them. And they had said to me, we want to buy your student brand. I said, my student brand is not for sale. okay, how do you feel about coming in and building one for us? And I was like, okay, so you want me to come and basically replicate what I've done and build you one? I was like, cool, no problem. This is what I want. I need an equity share. I need a monthly salary so I can show my accountant that this is a separate venture from whatever. And also so I can start to rebuild after the pandemic. Cool. Everything agreed. I built this company into a 6-figure company within, I think it was 5 months. 5 months it was making 6 figures, like profit. And they loved it. They were wowed by it. But I think it was just the idea of working with the right person made so much sense. It was a small team, and I've always worked well within small teams. But I think that the same kind of applies here in Dubai. You work with the right people, you extend yourself in the right way, and everything will kind of fall together. But if you expand in the wrong spaces, or you do things that aren't really, you don't have a passion for, it's just gonna be a waste of your time.
It can be shown as well. Like if you haven't got a passion about something, or if you're not interested about something, you won't put your all in it. You can feel restrictive. You can feel like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm just doing it because of X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it'll go seep into your work.
You'll burn out, 100%. You'll burn out. I think that, and that's why, like, the CEO that I worked with, we would have loads of conversations. I'd pick his brain. I found him very interesting, and he would tell me, listen, the hardest thing in this game, in running a business, is recruitment. Like, recruiting the right person is hard. You recruit the wrong person, you are, especially in the UK, you got process. There's no process in Dubai. If they don't like you, you're gone. You are gone. They'll give you 2 days notice. They'll be like, listen, clear your desk. And with that, your visa, gone. So, like, I can imagine the UK it's a lot harder. You hire the wrong person, you got to manage them out somehow. But
talk to me about Semo Friends.
So after the pandemic, I was now in my early 30s. I was proud of what I had built pre-pandemic, but I felt like I had outgrown it. And because these super clubs had closed, to be fair, I don't think I've really spoken about this, I had been feeling this way for a couple of years. The money was great. But I wasn't in love with the business anymore. Like, I still had purpose in it, but the purpose just felt like it wasn't the same, mainly because the communities had changed. When I first started doing those events, I was servicing a community of people that were underrepresented, and I saw myself as the Trojan horse. I was breaking down doors within venues that wouldn't let Afro-Caribbeans into clubs and party freely, listen to our music without, some kind of persecution or police trying to shut it down or whatever. After maybe like 6 years of running it in Uxbridge, the crowd started to change. The community that was going to university was different, and we had that, that upsurge of UK music, and it was just a lot of like different people that wanted to hear that music, but I don't know, wasn't really our community anymore. But again, this is kind of a beautiful thing, right? Like, you've got like a diverse community of people that want to come and enjoy your events or enjoy your, what you're doing. Great, we loved it. But it started to become a bit laborious, dealing with certain aspects and certain stresses and certain strains, the rise in knife crime, dealing with the police. The artists had now blown up to a point where it was expensive, really expensive to put artists on. It wasn't as lucrative, and the risk was higher. We used to just party for the music. Funky house, you put on a one DJ, the entire event's going to cost you like £2,000-3,000. It's not expensive. But some of these artist events, 20-30K just to put on a one show. If it doesn't go well, you're eating bread for the next 2 months. So I saw it as an opportunity for me to redefine myself and to explore a different direction. And I wanted to start it from the foundation, which was just be the DJ. Just be the person that, when my events company started, because people wanted to come and hear me play in Uxbridge. And there wasn't anywhere notable that I could play. So I started throwing small parties. They were selling out. Then we went bigger parties. They started selling out. Then we went to the super clubs. They were selling out. And I thought, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start again. I'm going to start doing private parties. at the beginning it was invite only. You know, we just, if you weren't invited, and we were using incredible venues. Like we were at the Ned Members Club. We did Soho House. We did. We got invited to do. We were at Q Club in Shoreditch. We did White City House. We've done just some amazing venues. Loads of really nice venues. And we expanded it to invite only, but you can invite your friends as well, because the venue started to get bigger. That's how Semo Friends started. I wanted to create like the inner circles, like the rings of like-minded people that are also fun and are just a vibe to be around, and are all ambitious, you know, just people that are just kind of in the same space in time and want to have some fun. And essentially that is how my business has expanded over the last few years. All the social initiatives I have now, my brunch, whatever, even my skating event, I have created social rings around each project. They're not really mass produced. They're niche, quality, refined, you know, a little bit more exclusive. And I like it like that, you know. I feel like you know, again, touch wood, I do well enough from my DJing that I don't need to sell out my event brands. Not saying that everyone sells out, but I've heard certain brands sold, you know, their brands to bigger companies so that they could cash in. I don't think that's my vibe. I don't think I would do that. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but just there is a space for controlled, like my brother Manny Suave, like he has just done it in such an amazing way, where it is refined, it is personal, it is bespoke. That is goals. Like that is kind of, I guess, where I would love to get Semo and Friends. But I think I'm more invested in the DJ journey right now. Like I'm really in love with my DJ career right now. So the events is a bonus. If they didn't go well, if they were, you know, I would be okay with that. You know, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But if my DJ career started to fumble, I would be pissed. I'd be upset.
Well, I don't want you losing the sleep, but I think it's a good way to finish up, man, on something positive. It'd be great if you can just give us your socials, what you got coming up next, and
Cool. So I'm back on social media, guys. I was off for a little bit. Instagram, Snapchat is big out here. I don't know if you guys use Snapchat. So Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok is DJ_Semo, Semo. And my YouTube is still DJ Semo, no underscore. If you come out to Dubai, you will find me. I play Wednesday to Saturday, multiple different clubs. Just drop me a DM. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm going to start releasing my monthly calendars because it changes all the time. But yep. And there are a few international bookings coming up. I'm actually playing Bali in May. And when the African bookings are concrete, I'll let everybody know.
Cool. Thanks very much. As always, guys, remember to drop a like, drop some comments down below, engage with us on social media. Of course, DJ Semo, big thank you to you. I've been your host, Rob. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.